What's up, world? It's your boy Easily Done. Fanatics, episode 37, day 37. College football has officially begun. Labor Day weekend. It begun last week. Um, but that's week 0. They just give you a little appetizer. Show one decent game. We saw the last week was a Georgia Tech, Florida State game. Georgia Tech shocked a lot of people and pulled off the win. But here's my thing. This is why I want to talk, because I've been watching a lot of these pregame college football shows, and all of us. First of all, it's the audacity, these so-called experts that give me the audacity to think I can do some shit like this. Because don't excuse my language, but these niggas ain't making no more sense than I can make. For real. Like, why play the game if we just go off of preseason rankings? Georgia's already number 1. They just won the national championship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure who's number 2 right now. You know what I mean? I think Oregon's number 4. You know what I mean? Let's just let's just put these teams in the playoff. Let's not play the game. Let's not see if there's any upsets of people are overrated and all that stuff. You know? It's you got to play the game. Experts, it gives us fans something to listen to and talk to, but the game is not like the game itself. That's any sport, because sports are always going to have the unexpected, the underdog, the one that everybody thought was going to be trash and exceed expectations, and then the team that everybody thought was going to win it all not come close to what we expected. That's what makes sports beautiful. College football is no different. See, now we're on week 2. Today's August 31st. The second week was August 30th. Georgia played Clemson. I'm gonna go off top of my head like the games that mattered, right? Georgia played Clemson. They smashed them. Georgia smashed Clemson. I believe the score was 34-3, 36-3. I think it was 34-3. Georgia made a statement. You know what I mean? They showed there's a reason why Georgia's won back-to-back championships in 2021, 2022, right? And been a perennial top 5 team the 3, 4, 5 years before them back-to-backs. Like, they've been a top program in college football the last 5 years. They're right there with Alabama. And then you got Clemson, who just them 5 years prior, before Georgia jumped in the mix, they were one of the top programs. So this was a good game, because you see, Dabo Swinney, Georgia's coach, he got a couple of championships himself. So you got to respect the man. He's done a fantastic job with Clemson, but right now, Clemson's going in the wrong direction. They could still turn now the talking heads are like, oh, they're done being an elite program. I don't think so. First of all, that one loss could get them. First of all, the ACC, to me, they're just as good as Miami. Miami's a little better. But they play head-to-head, Clemson could show up. That's what I'm saying. On paper, Miami's better. You got to see them play each other to really know who's the better team, though. I'm not going to just give Miami, because the thing about Dabo is he got rings. He got hardware. He's won championships. He's just got to get out his own way. From the research I've heard from the talking heads, that he don't like the transfer portal. He's late. He's behind the curve with the transfer portal, which is terrible, bro. What you doing? You tripping, man. You got to partake in that. You know what I mean? Why not? A talking head was like, he's want to keep things pure. Man, listen, if the rules change, the definition of purity changed. Don't feel bad now that you got access to the millions that the resources Clemson's going to give you to go get the players that you want. You lost a good quarterback to the transfer portal. You let him go into it. So why not get one to replace him on top of the recruit that you knew you had coming in Klubnik? Ugalele now he done went to Oregon State and Florida. Now he's at Florida State. But that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's pride is real. You don't let your pride be your downfall. And Dabo obviously is in his pride. He think it's something wrong with it. Oh well. Even if you gotta let your assistant coaches go take the transfer portal, you just sit back. But dog, you're tripping, bro. These dudes, you got dudes leaving the big boy programs, the Georgias and the Alabamas to go play at Georgia and Alabama. They flipping sides quick. Ohio State, this all world safety, all American went from Ohio State to Alabama. You know what I mean? So just do what it do. No, matter of fact, excuse me, he went from Alabama to Ohio State. Excuse me. Caleb Downs is his name. Man, do what it do, man. You might need that. Like, you might have missed something in recruiting. You can fix it with a transfer. So, while you being stubborn, you just took an L to show where you're at, where your program is at, while you trying to tell people Clemson coming back, and Georgia showing you they ain't coming back, they there. Georgia's there. They almost went to the playoff again last year. That was a voting thing of who you wanted to pick, because they didn't want to put two SEC teams in there over who was going to be in there. I think it was between having a second SEC team in there or letting Texas go in. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't deny Washington and Michigan because they both were undefeated, but Texas had a loss, Georgia had a loss, Bama had a loss. Bama beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, but that was Georgia's only loss all season. They were top 3 all year, looking like the championship caliber, but that one loss, you know. So, and now we got a more expanded playoff, and that's where you should have it, because a team like Georgia should have been playing for a championship. They're a championship caliber. They could play Alabama that next game back, and they win the next one. Bama, that went to the wire. Just like Michigan, Alabama went to the wire in the playoffs, overtime. You know? But back to this college football analysis. I'm not going to go into detail because it's week. There's a lot of mismatch games the first week. The 2 games that were 2 ranked opponents against each other, and there was another one where it was a Power 5 good West Virginia team against Penn State. Was the other game was Texas A&M and Notre Dame. That was a good game. You saw Notre Dame was kind of like how we played last year. Defense, run the ball, got a quarterback that can get the job done. So listen. And here, let's go back to the talking heads, right? And this is, and I don't want to shout out people and say names of who I say from. Y'all might know who said what, whatever. It's another podcast really, and they're talking about the error of playing where you gotta hide your quarterback. That's what he said. But in my terms, it's just you don't got a good quarterback, so you gotta. Or your quarterback's a game manager, and you gotta play basically defense and run the ball. Am I not correct that Michigan just not win a national championship? That's what made me want to do this whole thing. Did we not just listen? McCarthy was good, but he wasn't great by any means. He played great against weak competition, which was the first 8 games of the season. We were heavy favorites. Then we played Penn State, and we literally ran the ball 20-something plays straight in the second half to close the game out. We didn't even trust our quarterback to throw a pass for, it was 24 or 26 straight plays, 27. I can't remember the number. Come on, man. And that's why I love my team, because we went back to old school. We went back to, you gonna make us stop running it. And then we got that much faith in our defense. There's nothing wrong with that. It can work. You don't have to. These air raid offenses don't always work, man. Sometimes you got to play great defense. Not good. Some teams know how to play good defense. I'm talking about great D. Every play you do, you got to watch it. You know what I mean? You finna get smacked. Your running back's gonna run to walls at the line of scrimmage. Great defense. Can win championships. And we did that last year, man. McCarthy showed up. He didn't play that great in our semifinal game, or he didn't play that great after that Penn State game. It was the defense and the running game that won games for us. It did. He played okay. His numbers were so good from them first 8 games, and the potential because he's a 5-star recruit. He's got all the NFL attributes. He's like 6'3", 6'4", got a cannon of an arm. He's athletic. So he's going to be a draft pick in the NFL. But my personal opinion, he could have used one more year to tune up. But he still went first round. So everybody won. We won a national championship. He still got drafted high, you know, and he's still in that area of the country. He's in Minnesota. Unfortunately, JJ, I hope for a speedy recovery. He got hurt, season-ending injury. To me, I'm always look at the positive when it comes to stuff that happens in life. It's an opportunity for him just to watch the game anyways. Minnesota already went and got a free agent to play quarterback because they look like they were already planning on, you know, or at least waiting until some games into the season before they even put McCarthy out there. So now he got hopefully the injury just ain't, he speeds a speedy recovery. He gets back to 100%, but he get to watch film for a whole season. Be at the games, see the speed of the game, you know, because there were some things he could have worked on, like no doubt about it. But you can win games with, you can't, okay, now maybe I misinterpreted what this man meant, but I just know that defense and running the ball, them being your mainstays, you can win. You know? I really don't want to go, okay, and there's another game I should mention too, the Hurricanes, the Miami Hurricanes. I live in Miami. I love Miami. It's my home, been in my home for the last 15 years. The Miami Hurricanes demolished the Florida Gators. Florida wasn't expected to be nothing, but it's still Florida. They got championship. They got hardware. When they're good, they're great. They shake up college football when they're good because they got Florida athletes, just like a Miami Hurricanes team. Even though you got transfers and guys you recruit from other cities, you'll have enough Florida blood on your team. I promise you, there'll be a couple of Florida guys that's going to make that whole Florida way of thinking about athleticism and how that shit is inbred in these dudes because the yearly advantage Floridians have to be able to be play in these sports, play football outside. That's why they be great athletes because they got that weather factor. Like when y'all are in the winter states, the winter time of the year, when it's cold and you got to do everything indoors, man, they out here 70 degrees in December like it's springtime, running around with shorts and wife beaters playing football in the street. So damn right, by the time that kid turns 18, he gonna be fire at football and fast as fuck. So that's what happens. Like, it's simple, you know. But the Hurricanes did their thing, man. This that transfer quarterback they received, boy, I watched that game. Was fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, he played outstanding. I would already put him in the Heisman mix. Fantastic. I mean, Miami looked like a different. They look like a problem for real. And he ain't gonna do nothing but get better. That running game get right with him. Compliments him. The defense, man, listen. I didn't love the defensive talent is there. I feel like the play calling was a little bit mixy. You know, that's why there was one play, the Florida ran a 70-yard, the running back ran a 70-yard touchdown, not too, close to the end of the second quarter. And it was like, there's no way that man should have scored that easy. You know what I mean? He just did a simple outside sweep when there was not a hurricane around. How he got that? Yeah. That boy ran that thing with such ease. And I'm like, I'm not saying that defense ain't capable, but I want to see them because Florida just didn't look good at all on offense. You can see the talent everywhere. They got talent. It's just crazy how Florida teams be having guys that can run around on that football field. You see talent. You see NFL dudes everywhere. For real. On the Gators they got them. The problem is, how is the coach utilizing it? And it's always a problem between them big three Florida schools: Florida State, the Florida Gators, and the Miami Hurricanes. But Miami looked like this might be their time to shine because they looked decent, bro. Seriously, they looked good all three phases. Their schedule's very favorable too. You know, at least for them to get into the playoffs. What they gonna do there? Can they beat a Georgia? Can they beat a Bama? You know. Now here's my other thing I want to say before I end out, because that's why I'm not going to go in all these other ranked teams that won and they beat up on a lesser opponent. My predictions gonna go like this. Listen, and I know my Wolverines, right? I'm a Wolverine fan. This ain't no fluke. We didn't look good, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. I'm not gonna boost my niggas up. We didn't look good Saturday, but let me tell you something. I'm a diehard. I'm not gonna throw the towel in on our season. It's a game. That's why you play the game. We play Texas next week. They're one of them top 5 teams coming in preseason ranked, right? Quote unquote. I believe in my team will fix what wasn't good this week. We lost our head coach, quarterback, superstar running back, damn near the entire defense, right? That was so great. But while I know our defense was going to be good this year, we played a lot of guys last year. They just didn't start, except for a couple, you know. But a lot of them dudes had heavy minutes. They just the starters now. That's why the defense looked good Saturday. The offense, new quarterback. There's a whole story behind this dude, right? Davis Warren, and I'm gonna be the first one to say it. Documented. This kid has got a special story, and I feel like he's gonna show it. Because Michigan's had some quarterbacks, you know, Tom Brady. Chad Henne was okay. You know what I'm saying? Drew Henson was another story. The story of Drew Henson could have easily been another great NFL quarterback, but he went to go play baseball. And that's the guy that took minutes from Tom Brady. That's from our Michigan fans who really know. If you know, you know, right? I like this kid, Davis Warren, and he got a story. I came from a comeback story. Came from the bottom back up. The man had cancer, beat it. Then he get out of he recovered from cancer. COVID happens. It fucks up his recruiting. So his whole football plan don't go as planned. So guess what? I'm gonna walk on in Michigan. That's what he did. He didn't start immediately, but he walked on and made the team. He won. He didn't get a scholarship. He should have got one if he didn't. All that shit didn't happen. He didn't give up. And guess what? Now he's a starting quarterback. A lot of my Michigan fans upset that it's not this kid named Alex Orji. Man, I'm not stunting that kid, Alex Orji. He's a good athlete, but he can't throw. I'm not with that. I'd rather have a pocket passer because I can hand the ball off to a running back. See what I'm saying? Versus an athlete who can't throw. But I see something in this kid Davis. I'm telling you, you can't have no story like that and sleep on it. See, that's for people who ain't never been through shit that want to just sit there and say, oh, they don't know about him. He trash. He did a lot already by being out there. He didn't give up. A lot of y'all would have folded with them type of scenarios in your life, would have cried and threw in the towel. Man, what? And he didn't look terrible our first game. Like I said, we new offensive line. He's a new quarterback. We were trying to figure it out at running back. That's our bread and butter. We need to figure out who our running back is. I love Donovan. Donovan, you need to step it up. Donovan Edwards. New receivers. We got a 1 All-American tight end. That boy is a straight truth. And our offensive line, like I said again, like that's another crucial point. All them guys went pro last year. So like I said, we'll get it together. I got good feeling about us playing Texas next week. You know? But the point I was going to make too is, listen, there was a lot of conference changes and you got a new playoff system. I'm very excited how college football is moving. I just don't like the Pac-12 not being existent because now you got all these teams from the West Coast and East Coast conferences going to make a lot of teams have to travel a lot to play games. The Big Ten, for example, we got USC and the University of Washington and Oregon and UCLA, all these California schools. So whatever team, Ohio State got to go to USC, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of traveling. I mean, on a year-to-year basis. I'm not a fan of that. But I'm going to let y'all people who get paid millions of dollars who did all this realignment and had the audacity to just eliminate the whole conference talking about money. I don't believe that. I know those schools all made money. How does the conference don't have no money? I know everybody go to USC games and UCLA. Them stadiums be sold out, just like the Big House and the Horseshoe and Penn State Stadium. I don't know what we're talking about. For real. Anyways, there's a realignment in a lot of conferences. And like, for example, Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC, both of them are ranked. Texas is like number 4, 5 maybe. Oklahoma's like number 12. I can't remember specifics. They're ranked, pretty good rankings. They're gonna see what it is in the SEC. You're not like, them rankings ain't gonna matter. And wait till they have to play an SEC opponent who's been in the SEC. Not just the Bama and Georgia and Ole Miss, who are already top 10, and LSU, the gangsters, right? Let's talk about the Auburns, who have won championships and try to rebuild. They're going to give you what you want. They almost beat Alabama last year. See what I'm saying? The Kentuckys, who play tough. Oh, I didn't say Tennessee. That's another one that fell off, but they've been back for the last 5 years. See what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the Big 12. Where no disrespect to the Big 12, but we all know the SEC is the best. Your Oklahoma and Texas are going to not, you're just not going to dominate them conferences coming in. But if they win 8 games, 9 games, that's my prediction. I'll give you, then they did a damn good job. But I don't even know if that's going to happen. But they might. I'm just telling you, the SEC ain't nothing to play with, man. Right? I really predict both of them teams do no better than 8 wins. And I'm going to say the same thing about another top team that moved into a power conference that, to me, is better than the one they were in. Oregon, who's in the top. A lot of people think they can win it all. They're like number 4, 3. Some people think they can win it all. I know they got a spread attack, right? But the thing about the Big Ten is you got to play in the trenches. That's why Michigan is so crucial. We get our offensive line together. I like my defensive line, but my offensive line got to get it right. Because Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, they all going to play physical at the line of scrimmage. Iowa, Illinois, you know what I mean? Like, everybody in the Big Ten is physical. Now, people are like, Oregon got that spread attack, but all them niggas going to be able to block to be able to get it to the outside. I don't think Oregon going to live up to that ranking either. It's my prediction. I might be wrong. You can't just walk into certain conferences, bro. And I'm telling you, a whole different style of play has been going on over there. If you don't think teams ain't try to be the spread attack in the Big Ten, Purdue did it for years when they had Drew Brees. When what was his name? I think Joe Tiller was their coach for years. Maryland came in from the ACC and still never figured us out yet. And they were dominant in the ACC at the time they left the ACC. They were one of the better teams in the ACC. Ain't done shit in the Big Ten since they've been there. See what I'm saying? Like, all right. I know Oregon's got something going already, got nice level recruits, but man, you still ain't already recruited to what type of football you finna be playing in the Big Ten. So I'm not saying they could win. It's all them 3 teams: Oklahoma, Texas, Oregon. I just predict no better than 8 wins. I'm sorry. They're just gonna find out. Let me give you a perfect example. Iowa is a team that plays so boring, but their defense is ridiculous. Like, they are so well coached defensively. I watched them play one time, and I watched them play my Wolverines, and I'm sitting there like, the only way we're going to beat them is playing their game better than them, which is field position and this defensive shit. Thank God our defense was that much better than their offense was just that garbage, and we had a good enough offense to put some field goals up on the board. That's how we had to beat their outstanding defense. Outstanding. Like, they got these dudes where they're always in the right spot. You'll never see them out of position. That's not just, it's Big Ten playing to Big Ten. That's being coached to play that way. For real. But we'll find out. I might be wrong. It's just I'm a talking head, just like these dudes we watch on the ESPNs and the podcasts and Fox Sports. I'm just saying. And we'll talk NFL soon, because that's next week. Niner Nation. Gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang. We ain't gonna go there yet. And you know how I don't even want to say what I say, how I feel about how we got there in that Super Bowl. I did a podcast about it. I don't even want to talk about y'all. The whole world cheated us. Y'all had to have Kansas City win. That's how I feel. I don't give a damn. But anyways, your boy Easily Done. Fanatics. Date 37.